So we have the we have this. Let me just turn on the lines. Whoops! Turn on the edges there so we can see what's going on. So if we were, for example, to take this block here at the front and add one of the houses to it, because they're the same dimension, obviously we're just going to repeat the row house. So I'm doing the simple type of house rather than the crisscross house because it just takes less time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open, if I have it here, what I've done is I've taken your guy's house, and I haven't really changed it at all, but what I've done is I've just modified it so it only has one party wall. So the walls that go between the individual houses I've removed. So you only have it on one side. The reason for that is that when you put them together, you don't want to have one party wall sitting in the same space as another party wall. So you have something like this. This is the file that you guys gave me anyway. I'm not sure if those floors are working correctly yet, but you won't worry about that at the moment. So we effectively just want to link that in to the other model. And let me just see where I save that. Save as it's a group 4 external walls multi. Okay, so it's going to shut it down. And we'll just go into let's go into an elevation view or section view first. So first we need to kind of figure out, because we have this we don't have it over here, but over here, the kind of guidelines for the local area plan as to how the public spaces want to be treated. Where's the tree line, where's the pathway, where's the road, where's the cycle path, all that kind of stuff. So you kind of have to take that into account, because we have these basic levels that are from the Ordnance Survey map. And you can see there's a kind of a vague slope in the model I've given you, which is the way it is. So I've given a harbour level for the at level 2000 here, which is above sea level. So you need to decide, well, do you want the ground level of your house to come in at harbour level, or do you want it to come in at a slightly higher level, or how do you want to do it? So let's just say we put it, 200 above that. So I'm just going to copy that level up to start with. And I'm going to call this, whoops, don't want to change that yet. I'll call this ground level. And we'll just make it, let's make it 2.3. And let's say that takes care of all the modeling regarding the external areas and so on. So now we have a level to put the house on, ground level. So let's just go in and go to view, plan views, floor plan, and we'll just make a drawing for that level. So now we have ground level view, which looks something like that at the moment. So here we have these massing elements down the front here, 6 of them, which are just placeholders for the house. So now we can go in and insert the house. So I'm going to go insert, link Revit, and this is the one I set up minus the second party wall. I'm just going to bring it in auto at the moment. And there it is over there. So it's been brought in as just the walls file. And then we can simply just move it by using this move tool to the correct location that we want it to be in. Whoops. Do that again. Move over here and rotate it until we get it the right rotation. And it really is as simple as moving it or aligning it until you get it where you want it to be. So let's say we want to put it here. I'm just going to select it and use the align tool, and we align it to the grid line. So the grid lines that you've set up in your prototype house will act as the way we can align it to the master plan, like that. Okay. Now, once we've got it in there, we don't want to have a master plan that's full of thousands and thousands and thousands of grid lines. So we just want to change the way that this displays. So let's just turn on the high detail first of all. So I can come in here to the visibility graphics overrides, And all the way down the right here, we've got something called Revit links. That means we can actually control the visibility of the link different to the rest of the project that we're in. So I can come in here to Revit links, and the display settings are set to host view, which is the drawing that we're in or the project that we're in. So I'm going to select that, and instead of it being host view, I'm going to change it to custom. And then I'm just going to go into the annotation categories and change it to custom as well, and then just switch them all off and apply. So then you get a nice clean plan for the view we want. Now we just need to make sure that it's coming at the right level. That's the next thing. If we can find it here, just turn on the wireframe view. Yeah, it's coming at too low. So once again, I'm going to take it and we're going to move it up till it gets to the ground level that we want it to be at. And that means that if we go back into the ground level view, we have at least a decent plan of one of them. So that's actually the difficult part. So then we just select it and press copy, multiple, and then we can just use the grid lines as the spacing guideline as we go across, like that. And then suddenly we have a row of houses like this. Let's just turn off the fire clip. Now, this house, but they're not just a row of houses. It means because they're linked, it means every modification now you make to the file will automatically be updated in all the files you want to show. So it's like it's a massive time saver. The other thing is that all the material quantities will automatically come in as well. So I can go into this. Let's just make that a little bit pretty first of all. Let's say we make it a bit shaded, and we'll turn on some silhouettes, turn on some shadows, and turn up the lighting. Let's see what it looks like if we turn it realistic. Wow, it's really dark. Lighting. This one, turn the shadows down. Sorry, I turned up the wrong one there. Apply. Okay, so now we can just go in and delete these kind of placeholder masses behind. And straight away, if you've been using your grids correctly, and if you've been using the placement of the linked files internal to your prototype house, they should come up with exactly the same position, but also the individual elements should be calculated in exactly the right way as well. So if I want to, for example, try and figure out a costing regarding the walls in here, I can either do it like I showed you before, do the quantity takeoff in Navisworks, or I can just do it very simply in Revit, because we're doing it in terms of individual elements. So let's say we were talking about the walls. I can come in here and just go schedule the quantities, new schedule. I'm going to make a wall schedule. And we just want to say, because walls are calculated according to the amount of square area they are, we're going to add an area field. I'm going to add what else? We add no, we won't add a count. Maybe a description, depending on how much work you put into them. And add a type. So that's just kind of 3 fields at the moment. Press OK. It doesn't give us anything. Okay, and the reason for that is you need to always select this include elements and links down the bottom here, because otherwise it'll just show you what's in the project completely without the link file. But here's all the walls. Now you can suddenly see that the name of the walls are becoming important, because you've got these kind of placeholder names here: side walls, Sydhavn, So you might actually start going into your model and giving the correct constructional name for the walls, and maybe even give it an SFB code if you're really ambitious, and add a description for the wall, because you can actually add specifications description in the walls as well. And because we can get Revit to schedule them, and we can also sort this schedule. Let's sort it out by type of wall, for example. Give it a header and a footer. It will calculate the total amount of the area of the wall, which you can then apply a cost to next week when we get into that stuff. That make sense? But the important thing about it is that when we get into it, hopefully you can see it's just the wall section that came through here. So everybody needs to insert their individual element and align it correctly according to the grid setup, so that, you know, if you're doing the roofs, your roof is in the right place, at least to set up with. You know, your windows are in the right place. You know, they might be part of the same model or whatever. But that means is that there's a kind of a massive work saving in your site plan automatically being generated from your prototype house, if you know what I mean. So then you can generate a site plan out of that, and also generate the total costing that will modify as you modify the house. Okay, does that make sense? Does anyone want to give that a go?